Welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. I'm Dr. Jasmine, and I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. If you have been listening to the Girl Go Global podcast, thank you so much. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And thank you so much for going into the comments and going into the description box and giving your donation. We love the support that we're receiving. We love to offer the value that you are getting so that way you can continue to embrace your multi-layered life with faith, know-how, and grit. And so today, I have a fantastic guest with me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe she's here with me. And I also can't believe that I am here in a new studio, y'all. So if you're listening to the audio, roll over to YouTube so you can see the new studio space, because I am in the Beauty Hub salon and content studio, y'all. This is a Black-owned business in Baltimore. I'm so excited that I have this space today to share with you some video content. Yeah, because we don't do it often, but when we do, we try to do it, y'all. So nonetheless, I have with me Miss Chrissy Reneé Cottman, y'all. Oh my goodness. If you have seen any of my videos, she's the one behind it. I'm so excited that she is here to speak with me about all of the things. She is a videographer. She is a wife. She is a mother. She is also a podcaster. And so she will tell you more about all of that. Nonetheless, Chrissy, would you introduce yourself to the Girl Go Global community?
Well, dear God, what else I got to say left?
You got
covered all of the T's.
You got so much more to say.
Oh man, well, Dagon, I think you covered it. Wife, I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I love Jesus real good. You missed that.
Yes,
That
love
should've been
real,
first.
real good. Yeah.
I love him real. Jesus, I love him real good. Yes, I am a business owner. We have a video production company, Forever Cottman Films.
Yes.
And my husband and I run that together. We do several services, from podcast production to brand and social media content, commercial content, all the things. And so I'm so glad to be here.
You missed one part.
What'd I do? What'd I say?
You missed that you are a celebrity
Oh, Lord.
videographer.
Let me tell you something. Yes.
She don't own it, but she gotta say it.
Guess what?
Okay.
That's fine. Yes, I shoot celebrities, but I will shoot anybody if they pay the invoice.
Come on, invoices.
I will shoot.
Wires only.
Check. If you pay the invoice, I'm coming. Okay, so, but yeah, with celebrities in there, and that's been a fun thing.
It's good.
Yeah, it's been a fun thing. So, but yes, you pay the invoice, I'm there.
So, thank you. And thank you for joining me.
Yes, of course.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I definitely get it, especially as a business owner.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Not only because I've known you since you were a child, literally,
yeah.
but because of all the great work you're doing, how God has flourished you, how you're showing up as your authentic self, showing up as creative, which I know you are, showing up as authentic and fun, and all of the things, girl. And I love to see it.
I appreciate that.
So you started Forever Cottman Films in a pandemic.
100%. In the only pandemic that I've known, it was only one. I'm only
started
praying
in
for
a
one.
pandemic, and I think I may have been one of your first clients during that time. You did a lot of work for me.
Yeah.
She shot my book trailer.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
You
did
intros,
my intros, because
Yeah.
kind of launching of my book and things of the nature.
Yeah.
So you have been with me.
Yeah.
I hope we can continue to grow
As
together
we will.
in that
As
way.
we will. Yeah.
But I want to talk about what gave you the faith to start a business in a pandemic, and nonetheless a contact business, right? Because you have to do videography and purpose. What gave you the faith to do that, and where did it even come from? Because before I know, you were going to dentistry school, so like that's a whole that's a whole new thing. So tell me about the change of career. Tell me about the faith to do it and where it came from.
Wow, that's I never thought about that question in that way. So I guess I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. I just had my daughter. She's now 4, so that gives you some context as to when that happened. And she was about 4 months old. And I was like, I think I had been like on, and I mentioned this on my website. So to go back, on my website for Forever Cottman Films, I talk about when I got married to my husband. That was about 6 years ago. And we just celebrated our anniversary, actually. And during that wedding situation, we wanted a videographer. Videography was really important to me. And I think just because I'm a creative and I'm a visual person, I wanted video. Photo too, but video specifically. And the videographer who we found, he was perfect. He was amazingly talented. He still is. He was local, and I just feel like he got my vision. And so we had the wedding, and we were doing the rehearsal dinner. And everything was going. It was going good. Planning, everything was set. And we got a call from him at 9 p.m. And he said he was not going to be able to make it.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So that was the night before. And I was like floored. I was like, of every vendor that could cancel, not the videographer.
Yeah.
Not the videographer. It was so important to me. It was so important to me. And so my husband, being who he is, he was like, oh, we're going to figure this out. Like, I'm going to deal with him later. He did.
I'm sure he did.
But he said, we're going to figure this out. And him and my brother-in-law, Larry, they put their heads together and they called this person. And somebody actually drove down from cross country.
Oh, wow.
The night before the wedding to get there in time for the wedding. And they shot my wedding.
Look at God.
So God is so good.
He is.
We do still have video. I mean, we have like everything. We got like the raw footage, honey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You had a beautiful wedding.
Yeah. Oh,
beautiful
thank you.
wedding.
I appreciate that. And so, yeah. So that was, I guess, the catalyst to videography. It didn't happen right away.
Okay.
I was actually like unfollowing all the videography I had on Instagram. I was like, I can't even look at this. It's too painful. But after I got over that, I was like, man, I really just enjoy watching videography, capturing of events and things like that. I'm a person who at an event anyway, I'm like taking pictures and videos anyway. So, so it got to a point I was at home, and again, I was a stay-at-home mom. And my daughter was a few months old, and I was like, maybe I'll learn how to take pictures and videos. Because I appreciate them.
Yeah.
And for that reason alone. And I kind of locked myself in a room for a couple days and looked on YouTube. YouTube University.
Yes, we all attend.
YouTube University, free tuition. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay, and I taught myself how to use a camera. And so my husband bought me a camera as a gift because he saw that I was interested. And I literally was like, okay, I can do this. And I just, with my kid, I was driving around different places and shooting. And it just ended up turning into something I don't know if I was intentional about the business part of it. I was intentional about learning how to use a camera.
Okay.
But the business part, I really feel like it was my husband. He was like, okay, you have this. Now you've learned it. You're doing it well. Why don't we turn this into some money? Okay,
husband.
An idea of how to steward that gift, if you will. And so I said, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Like I'm down, and that's something that's entrepreneurial. Like I'm down with that. And it became a full service video production company.
A full service video production company.
In the pandemic.
Yeah. Wow. So I guess I hear you say that your husband was he pushed you.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
But it's like it almost feels like you kind of stumbled upon what would have been a hobby.
100%.
That now is a thriving business where you're actually servicing people all over the country because
100%.
You will fly because of an invoice.
As long as you pay for the invoice. I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, that's stumbled across that's it.
But the thing is, you do it so well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right, because I don't think that you would be able to service the caliber of client had you not. So, tell us about the training. How did you get that know-how? I know that originally it was hobby, it was self-taught, but I know that there's some training had to take place.
Yeah, so I am a very hands-on, again, very visual person. So I shadowed whoever I could.
Okay.
And that I will say, unfortunately, there weren't a lot of people who were willing to allow me to shadow in that way.
Okay.
And so it was very few and far between. But I shadowed photographers. Like I shadowed Vernon V.S. Davis photography. He's a really great photographer in the DMV.
Okay.
I got opportunities when I was just starting to work with people who kind of had a vision for how videography should go and visuals and all that kinds of stuff. And so I just was willing to learn.
Okay.
I never felt, even now, I don't feel like I know everything.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think staying in that place and just always being willing to kind of learn something new or learn something different or learn something to add on to a skill you already have is what continued to train me. Now, yeah, I took like Adobe software, trainings and things like that. And, because you have the editing portion, the post-production. But I feel like, for me, because I'm so visual and hands-on, it's just never feeling like you know everything.
Got you. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. No, literally. Some people don't want to be an apprentice or a shadow or
oh my gosh,
that's not where they want to start. And some people will say, oh, I need to go to school. I need to go to videography school. But it sounds like you took a different pathway.
Yeah, I did. And I had done a lot of school at that point too. I mean, let me shut up because
you were in
Jasmine done a whole lot of school, so I don't know.
But you did a lot of school in an area that you're not in right now.
Oh, I was a bio major and a chem minor. With ideas to go to dental school. Like, how did I end up?
God.
He's so funny that way. He is hilarious.
Yeah. Because I do also feel like you were trying to find your way.
I was, 100%.
When you were going through that process.
Yeah. And I have West Indian parents, so, my mom was very much like, what are you going to do science? Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a dentist? What are you going to do in the medical field to bring you in the most income? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but they pay the most insurance, so that's that part.
And I read something, and this is terrible. This is so old, so it may not even be valid now. But at the time, I was reading several articles about people in the dental field and how they had the highest suicide rate of any kind of healthcare provider. And I was like, oh.
Really?
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. I think it maybe had to do with the people who own private practices who weren't really like, because I know they have like government affiliate ways that you can do a practice.
The stress of it, maybe?
I think it was the stress of it and having to like you have the business and the business may be bringing, let's just say $500,000.
Yeah.
But like the expenses and I think that became like a very stressful thing and the suicide rate was the highest.
Wow. I wouldn't even think that.
Yeah,
but
it was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, that ain't why I did it. Didn't do it, rather.
Right.
But yeah, it's just wild how I ended up here. Like you said, I feel like I did stumble into it now that
I do.
Yeah, literally.
But it's good.
It is. It's real good.
And lucrative.
And you know what's so wild is, and I was very careful because I did have an infant.
Yeah.
And things like that. So I wanted to be mindful. We didn't really know like what was going on with this virus. We didn't even have we didn't have the shot yet even, so it was very new. And I was very mindful about going out and trying to be like, should I do this? But I was very careful, and whatever, wear my mask and all the things. But I will say that during the time of the pandemic, no one could go anywhere. Like there was a point where we were literally shut down and businesses were shut down, but they were leveraging video content.
Yes.
100%. So the need for video content went through the roof during the pandemic. And I think that is a big reason why we did do so well, especially in those first, I think our first year, our first year, we did just under 6 figures. Just under. When I say just, it was
$2.
Just kick it over a sec.
Somebody just give me $5.
What do you need me to do? We were, and it was wild.
Yeah.
It was like but there was a big need for it. And I think
you wasn't even charging that much.
No.
I don't even want to ask you what you're doing now because I know, because you did some work for me. And I know I get the family friendly discount.
You do.
But you still were not charging what you're charging now.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was just starting. Yeah, so I definitely wasn't. But yeah, I charge now, and I think I'm fair.
Yeah, I think so. I still think so.
But yeah, I just think there was a big need for it, and it just, I'm not gonna say it happened because I think everything is done with intention by the Lord. Come on, but there was a need for it in that season, and I was there. And people liked my work, and it worked out.
And you do good work.
Thank you.
Do good work.
So
that's great.
It was the Lord. That's all I can say. I don't know how that happened.
So if someone wants to get in your industry, what are a few tips that you have for them? I mean, I know even if not your industry, a lot of people are doing content development.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips? Not only for people who want to get in your industry, but maybe you have tips for the average person like me who I ain't got no camera, I ain't got no mic, I don't have none of it. Yeah. How can I start?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I will say 2 things. The first thing, and I think the most important thing is, and this goes back to me, stewardship is my theme, so I'm always go back to it, is steward what you have. So when I first started, there is a way that I was recording content that I don't do now. Yeah. Obviously, I have thousands of dollars worth of gear now. I have know-how. I have a bunch of experience. You know what I mean? So there's a way that I wouldn't. However, I still made sure that I produced high quality content with what I had.
Yeah.
So I started off with a DSLR camera. It was a Canon SL2. I had a 50. That whole setup was maybe $500, maybe, with all the equipment that I had. That's it. And that may sound like a lot, but I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not at all. But I used that camera for almost the first 2 years of my business. And I learned how to use it well. I learned different techniques to just really understand what I had and how I could use it to the most of, like, the best advantage as I could. And so I say that to say, whatever you have, if you have an iPhone, and I'm not joshing you, if you have an iPhone,
What about an Android?
if you have an Android, and sometimes God help me.
Don't do that.
But God help me. Sometimes Android be a little bit better. Sometimes in certain things.
Yes, give us our props.
Just a very small percentage, right? But use your phone. And I'm saying this, and I say this often, and I think I'm gonna do a video or two about it and maybe share that on my YouTube. Yeah, but I just think people don't realize what they have. I would do videos when I first started, I was doing some YouTube lifestyle content, and I would use my phone as a microphone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the audio was crisp. I would put it into a program, and I would, kind of zhuzh it up a bit, season it, if you will. And I was using my little DSLR, my SL2. Look up an SL2 and see how much it is, and you see what I'm talking about. That thing is probably like $250 now. Legit. It was not like a super fancy camera. It was just understanding what I had, stewarding it to the best of my ability, and just using it and showing up. So you can use an iPhone and get really great content. Legit. And I'm not like joshing.
I know people do it.
It's like legit. You really can. And so using what you can, I think, is what I would say to people who are wanting to get into content creation and things like that for, with themselves and just showing up online. Use what you got. So that's one. And then for people who want to get into videography or video production or cinematography, I would say be open to learning. Because there are so many different people who shoot in so many different ways, and you just watch or learn from everyone that you can and figure out what works for you.
Nice.
But just always learn.
Those great tips.
Thanks.
I'm not sure that I will do it.
Okay.
But those are really, really great tips because I just don't have time, y'all.
No, I
don't
understand.
have time. But I do think, if I can carve out time to kind of learn it, even just learn how to do it on my phone, because it just feels like for me something else I have to do.
It is. Yeah.
But if you're just getting started, you don't have the resources to hire someone like a Forever Cottman Films or someone else, then you gotta do what you gotta do, because there are a lot of DIY things I have done.
Yeah, right.
So
and
I
it can be another one. It really can.
It can be, and I know I'm. It's not as hard as it looks either.
It really isn't. I think, and you know what? This is
and stuff doesn't have to be perfect. People think
it doesn't.
People think it has to be perfect, and that's what gets you trying to make it look a certain way.
100%.
But if you let it go and let it flow,
and just put it on, just put it out there, just post it, just show up.
Show up.
I'm saying that, and I need to do it myself.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. But you're inspiring me to make some content, and I think I might do it on YouTube about like just using what you have. Like using an iPhone and using like some at-home stuff.
People need it because people don't know. I feel like we just came up with something.
Yeah, so I'm dead serious. I mean, it will be free content. I just really think that that's something you need to see. Oh yeah, this does work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, nobody has time. I mean, who does, right? Nobody has time. One thing, and this is like, I feel like a little bonus tip, especially with my content creators, like people who come and pay for like social media content packages, bulk recording is clutch.
Gotcha.
And that looks like,
I do that.
Yeah, sitting down for a day, scheduling out, okay, I'm going to shoot 5 videos today.
Yeah.
And you post those videos throughout the week.
That's how I do it with the podcast.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's how it's sustainable. Nobody sits there every single day. I mean, unless you just got time like that.
Yeah, some people do, and I just don't.
Yeah, I think bulk recording is the way to go. So
yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah. And then scheduling it out.
Yes.
Oh my, the feeling that it's just gonna release.
It'll just release
without you there.
That's it.
Oh my God.
That's it.
My God.
It's a game changer.
It is.
I'm telling you.
And it's a great feeling.
It is.
You are asleep and your content is being
going
released.
out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's a great thing. I need to edit some stuff now.
That one was free, y'all.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, free. Yeah. So, what gives you the courage to keep going? You got miles ahead of you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you plan on doing with Forever Cottman Films over time, where you would look to go. But what wakes you up now to say, I need to keep going to do this, because now it feels a part of purpose, right? So that's what the Girl Go Global community is about.
Yeah.
Pursuing purpose within our passions and those things that God has given us with all that faith. We embrace our multi-layered lives. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a business owner. And so in doing so, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
What gives you the courage to keep going?
Well, I have 2 little Ys at home. They help. A little 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. And they help a lot with keeping me going. Also, my husband and I have plans that God has deposited into our hearts and our spirits. And a part of that requires me to keep going.
Yeah.
For that to happen. Building generational wealth, giving like no one else. If I want to be able to give like no one else and bless people like no one else in the name of Jesus, like Jesus and the Lord, God has provided for me so that I have access to bless you. Yeah. I got to keep going.
Keep going.
So I love that. That's it. Yeah.
I do love that.
Yeah. So, and generational wealth.
Of course.
Yeah. That's such a buzzword, but like you have to like be intentional about that.
You do.
You have to work. You have to have a plan. How are you investing your money?
Plan like, and for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you see Forever Cottman Films going?
Well, at this point, I'm in a really odd place, I feel like, where I have done a lot of this work myself. And I mean that to say, like, I am the one shooting. And I've been the one editing. I've been the one corresponding with clients, my husband. Like, it's just been us. And so we're at a point now where we're outsourcing. Nice. Because at some point you can't scale. Yeah. You can't scale if you have to do everything. I can't answer emails if I'm shooting. Yeah. I can't shoot if I'm editing. Yeah. And so outsourcing has been really challenging for me because I am a creative and I do want things done a certain way. Yeah, I get you. I want to put my sauce on it, you know? And so that's fine. Teach them your sauce and then let them do it.
Yeah. How do you trust? How do you find a trust that you teach?
It's hard.
You teach it, but like I know some people, they're not like some restaurateurs, they're not going to give up the recipe. Right. And so you got a recipe for what you're doing. Yeah. You know. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Right.
I think at some point, and that is something that I'm concerned about, if I'm being honest, but I just know what I'm doing right now is not sustainable. Yeah. I just know what I'm doing. It's not going to be sustainable forever.
And you can have people sign certain types NDAs, of contracts and NDAs and things. Of course, people are going to learn your
and God bless
but they're not you. They haven't built your brand. Yeah. You know, and nobody can do what you do like you do it.
Sure, because my name is Chrissy Reneé. You know what I'm saying? And I think, too, there's such a competitiveness that I understand. Sometimes it's healthy, and sometimes I'm like, oh, my gosh, calm down. There's 52 weeks in a year. I cannot shoot everybody's content at every point. Like, there's opportunity and money out here for everybody. Yeah. Even in my niche. Like, I can only do so much. Yeah. You know, so if they learn my stuff, God bless them.
God bless.
God bless them. I'm so glad you learned something. Just make sure you do my edits right. Yeah. That's it. You know, so I have to look past that because if I want to scale, if we want to continue to build, then we got to let go of some things. You do. And so I think that's where we are now. We do have plans, man. I'm telling you, and it's exciting, but we got to focus on this right now. So right now it's making this more sustainable. Yeah. And kind of expanding in that way.
And that's also being a good steward.
Yes, I think so. 100%. I think so too.
I love that. I love that for you because I also know that you need time to rest. I know how much you shoot. I know how much you're going. Yeah. So
rest is good.
Your rest is good. Right. And you know, you got 2 little ones. And so there's some moments you don't want to miss.
Yeah. 100%. That's one of the big reasons why I'm kind of heavily into this entrepreneur venture is because I want to be present for my kids. I want to be present in my family.
Because you create your own schedule.
100%. Yeah.
Love it. So yeah. Yes. So what can we expect from you next? I know you're podcasting. Yes. I know that you got business. But tell us about your podcast. What's next? Anything for 2024?
Yeah. So, God, if I ain't said the word enough this whole time, the podcast is called Doing Life with Intention. And it is a podcast about stewardship. And stewardship, I feel like, is such a word. It's a very churchy word, I feel like. And it's usually equated with, like, finances or your talents. Yeah. And while those things are 100% what they are, and you should steward them. I think that my husband kind of brought this to our family. You can steward everything. Like nothing really belongs to you. If you are a Christ follower, if that's how you choose to kind of have like that foundation for your life, as a Christ follower, nothing belongs to us. It's borrowed. God has gifted it to us to grow, to store, to take care of, and all the things.
And to multiply our talents.
100%.
I love it.
And so that is not just our talents and our finances.
Yeah.
That is our business.
Yeah.
That is our relationship with our children. That is our health and our bodies.
Yes.
That is the time that we do have. That is all of the things.
All of it.
All of the things. And so that is what we focus on the podcast, is bringing in different people, conversing with them, experts. My husband and I do a lot of back and forth and talking and things like that, and just exploring what it means to steward all aspects of life.
Yes.
And so I don't know what's next. I'm just trying to be obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice every time.
Yeah.
And
so that kind of has worked well for you, by the way.
Well,
not knowing what's next.
Not knowing what's next. Right? And just being like, okay, this is it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do this.
That's it.
Yeah, and
Let's
then you stumble upon a 6-figure plus business.
Down for it. You see, let's do it all over again. Yeah.
Oh, so I love that. I love that for you, and I love the podcast. And thank you for coming.
Of course.
So what I say?
What you say?
What does it mean for girls to go global? What would you say?
What would that mean for girls to go global?
What does it mean?
I think it means representation.
I love that. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, so I think girls are doing it. Especially black girls. I ain't trying to be funny. But honey, these black women out here are doing the daggone thing. And it is so inspiring to see yourself in those women and seeing them doing a doggone thing. And so when I hear girl go global, I would see myself in all of those different places.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and I believe that. Like, that's happening if it ain't already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going global.
100%. 100%.
Wow.
Yep.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Heartwarming.
I think so too.
Touching.
I think so too. Yeah.
This has been the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and work are empowered. Would you please like, share, and subscribe? And don't forget to share it with a friend. Girl Go Global.